it's getting wilder by the day. Every time I make a new video, an hour afterwards, there's a new player that's gone down. And since our last video, we've had two. We've had Brennan Piakura do his ankle at training. He's out this week. He's off to get scans there. And I believe we'll find out more information in the next 24 hours as to how bad that is for him. And if it's a higher ankle sprain, we know that that is multiple weeks and he could be a trade out as well. The second one there was Albert Hopewadi. And apparently he's burnt himself cooking at home and he's out this week. And the ridiculous news out of that is that you would expect Nick Kotrick to be named on the wing position. And then James Schiller is actually the one to come back into that side along with Seb Chris. So pretty funny at that. And I did want to go for my first mini rant of the day. I'm seeing a few comments on YouTube's on Facebook groups and the like saying, oh, if we have another player out, I'm going to delete app. I've got so many red dots. What I want to say with that one, guys, is this is the first example of the year and the first warning to all of you guys to make sure that you clean up your reserves. If you've got a couple of guys sitting there that aren't playing, if you did get lucky, we do have Kale Iro who's coming in and playing this week. So if you're sitting with him on in your emergencies, you've done pretty well there. But if you've got guys that aren't playing, that haven't played all year, this is your call. This is your warning to fix that up now so that you don't fall into this issue on a weekly basis. And of course, it happened this week in round 4 when I've got 3 players from the Storm on the bye. But it is what it is, guys. Let's get into these round 14 lists. And there's going to be a few guys that we speak about here that we aren't sure if they're actually going to be playing, just based on if they're actually, they're going to be named for now and given all the time in the world, like a Ruben Cotter. And we'll speak about that when we get to it. But let's go to the Roosters and the Panthers to kick things off on Thursday night. It's going to be a great game of football. And we do have Brad Schneider who comes into the 7 position with Cleary out. We still don't see James Fisher-Harris anywhere to be seen. Maverick Guy comes in onto the interchange bench with Scott Sorensen out as well. Garner into that starting side. And over the next few weeks, we will see Garner have some solid scores. And if you're anyone who owns him or is looking to purchase him, you could do worse than grabbing him for sure. Brad Schneider, I don't think he's not going to be cheap enough than what Jack Cole could have been if he was to play. But I do understand why they want to go for Schneider. A bit more of an organising 7 with Jack Cole being a 6. That's why they've gone for Schneider in this one. I don't suggest he's going to be an incredible purchase this week, so I'd be avoiding him at that. People are talking about Mitch Kenny as a 9 option. He's okay. Nothing crazy. And obviously the outside backs, Isaac Tungal is the man of the moment with the lowest break even, but we know how that can play out on a week-to-week basis. Maybe they go left a little bit more now that they've got Jerome Luai there with Cleary being out. That's something to note as well. There could be Taylor May and Brian To'o getting a little bit more ball, but unsure at this point. In the interchange forwards, Liam Henry, expect some good minutes out of him again in the next few weeks. Obviously doing really well and getting a 49 last week. So he's someone that I would not get you to be away from or push you away from at all there with Liam Henry, given he should be able to get some decent minutes over the next few weeks. At least 40 is kind of where we're expecting with, Leota, Lindsay Smith there as the starters, and it's Eisenhuth and Henry, and then Maverick's going to be your edge cover. So expect good minutes from Henry and a pretty good buy from this week, because if you can get 40 minutes, I'm expecting 40 points, and if he can do that for at least 2 or 3 more weeks, then he's going to make 100k pretty comfortably there after that really good score from him last week. Isaiah Yeo, there was a little bit of a rumour today about him missing from this game. He's fine. It's all just, sometimes rumours come around. There's been a lot of injuries and real injuries at that. That one's a bit of a rumour. So, we'll leave it at that. But he's going to have to step up and play a really big game. If he's actually playing on Thursday night, then we'll talk about him as a captaincy option as well. For the Roosters, not a lot changes in their backline. Obviously, Luke Keary does come back in. Sandon Smith is out. He's injured anyway. So you do see Connor Watson in the 14 role back in that. Egan Butcher comes onto the bench as well. We don't see Siwa Wong, unfortunately, still in the 19 jersey there. With Terrell May, looks like he's fine. He's been named to start there in this one with Lindsay Collins being out, and do expect Terrell to play big minutes and be a pretty good captaincy option as well. So we'll speak about him also in this one, which is funny that he's a 490k player that now turns into a potential captaincy option like Jermaine Hopgood did last year. Brandon Smith, expect decent minutes from him now with Yeah, Nafahu White, probably 30 odd minutes. Butcher probably in a similar realm. Crichton probably in a similar realm with Watson 30 to 40. I think Brandon Smith should be getting 60 minutes this week, but he did only play extra because of the injury last week. So not too much changes outside of the Lindsay Collins injury. Expect Terrell to get big minutes and maybe an uptick from White, given he played pretty well last week. And Watson will come on and do his thing around the ruck. So that's the Roosters in this one. Sandon and Lindsay out. Cleary and Sorensen out for the Panthers. Sam Walker's back. He passed his... Apparently it was just a neck issue, not a actual concussion. For the Bunnies, not too much change here in this front. So you do see, a few guys come back onto the reserves bench in Isaac Thompson, and Lockie Elias is sitting there on the reserves as well. But Dean Hawkins is still there. You've got White and Tass on the edge in the centres. Tane Milne's still there as well. Taved Totola keeps his spot. Hopefully still big minutes, but they do have to change something in this team because really it wasn't great last week at all, and they haven't made a few changes on the bench, is what I should say, with Kepi in the 20 jersey now. Michael Cheekham gets his opportunity on the interchange bench, and expect him to play a few minutes for Jacob Host in this one. Expect Murray to play some good minutes as well, with some very much lower minute guys on the bench from their middles in Duncan, Mitchell, Moale, and then Cheekham will be their cover in this one, with Damien Cook just starting, and Silva Havili back into the 18 jersey. Actually, you look it down here and there's no ins and outs, but it's just changes from their reserves into their interchange players there. So Silva, who was one of their better players in round 2, has been dropped to the interchange and to the reserves in this one, with Cook being back into 80 minutes. So if you held on to Cook, that's good news for you in that one there. If you're looking at the Bulldog side of things, not a lot changes for them. You got Kiraz in there, Taft still playing, Tracy, Crichton, and Wilson. We still don't see Adakar here. He's on the reserves bench, so there's a chance that he comes in and plays, but I still think they'll give it another week on this one. In the forwards, Liam Knight will start again. Kikau, Preston, Salmon. Business as usual for the Dogs, and expect a similar rotation. I think if it's a little bit closer, you might see Josh Curran come on for a few more minutes. And does Kikau get the 80 again? We'll have to wait and see, but we're obviously going to be having to play most of these guys. Thank goodness Hutchison's been named. Salmon's there. Curran, if you've got him, but obviously Sam Hughes still getting opportunity. Hopefully it's 25 or 30 minutes this week and a decent score out of him, because I will clearly be playing him this week. For the Broncos, up against the Cows, we do see Tristan Saylor come straight into that side, and he's a 550k, guys, and it's likely to get 2 or 3 weeks out of him. Is that enough for you to slot him in your side? I'm not sure, given the price, how much money he can make in that time. He should be able to do pretty well, scoring-wise. We know the quality that he possesses, especially in attack, but can he do it longer term? And, can he do it at a high clip, I should say, for the few weeks that he's going to be in this side? That's the question there. With Selvin Cobbo going back to the into the centres there, we know that he can score really well in that position. Someone who's a great buy this week and will be playing close to 80, or should be playing 80, is that of Carrigan. And he's a terrific captaincy option as well. So keep him in your thoughts. Adam Reynolds returns to this side, which is good news for them, and will be a big help obviously there as well. Tapa'u is in the reserves for this week now. I've been dropped back to that. Same with Jock Madden. So Smoothie Willison keeps his spot in the interchange, which is good for any owners of him. Kobe Hetherington, and then Corey Oates gets his chance to play, and he'll come in on the edge, I'd say, for Jaden Hunt at some time in this game, and that's obviously helpful there for Hunt. That it'd be hard pressed for him to play big minutes in this one. Expect Jensen to go for some decent minutes again, and Baker hopefully not moving to the edge like last time with Piakura going down injured, guys. And as I said, we'll wait to see what's happening with Piakura and where he's at this point. Bentakura is in the 18th man jersey as well. So really the only Broncos players I think you should be looking at would be Pat Carrigan at the moment. For the Cows, Zach Labart does return. Hopefully he is fine. You see Chester move back into the 18 jersey. The interchange stays the same. Cotter has been named, which is great news. And hopefully he is there and he's good to go. Sounded like from all reports that he is okay, and it was just a precautionary to get him off. And the 1 to 2 weeks was sort of, if there was some type of issue there and it was a minor ankle sprain, then that's when a lot of the guys return. but it does seem like he'll be fine and will be named. It has been named and is likely to line up in this one. Obviously, if they're winning or if they're getting smashed, do expect them to give him a bit of a rest, just to rest up that ankle a little bit more. But if it's close, expect some decent minutes as well. And I very much needed him to be named here in this side. Nothing's been said further on this, but yeah, Laybutt's back, and that's all we really need to know, I suppose, for my Supercoach teams, that's for sure. We move to the Dragons up against the Eagles now, and on the Dragon side, your main guys, you're obviously holding Sully, you're holding Flanagan at this point. Lomax is a potential buy if you're looking at that in any way, shape or form. And then when you're looking at the forwards in this one, Jack DeBella moves back to the bench. Jaden Stewart returns, Luciano Leilua in the starting side as well with Laurie and Francis Molo. So yeah, you see Francis come back. I think he was out actually as well. Eisenhuth in the 13 as well. Marshke keeps the spot now with Little returning to the side, Raymond Faitala-Mariner moving to the bench as well, and Harm Sele back into this side. Unfortunately, Vili Fafita gets moved to reserves. If you're banking on him, that's the unfortunate one there, that he's been moved out of that side. But yeah, no real big options in this team, apart from like a Lomax at this point. Eisenhuth getting decent minutes, but he's kind of made a lot of the money that you would have thought he could and would in this side right now. For the Eagles, Tom Trbojevic, good buy this week. If you need a wing fullback, I'm definitely looking at him myself, potentially as a captaincy option as well. He's a cheeky one at that for Tommy. And then Vega keeps his spot, so Tommy Talau does not return this week. So it must be significant enough for him to be kept out of this side. Garrick scoring well, same with Kola, got that try pulled back, unfortunately. You've got Olakawatu, a really solid pickup, didn't score as well as you would have hoped last week. And then Ben Trbojevic, we have to play him this week. Thank goodness he's been named still. Do expect him maybe to play 60 minutes again. We want him to bounce back though, because that was pretty poor on the weekend. Hopefully he can do a lot better, which looks like it's probably going to be up against Jaden Sewer, which will be a pretty tough matchup as well. He's coming up against a few good players on opposite sides at the moment, but he needs to step up, that's for sure. So that's where we're at on the Manly side of the ball. Titans up against Dolphins. The big news here is Keeney is out, so sad for my team. He's been a shocker anyway. Jaden Campbell is back. He is back. I do see merit in getting him this week, but I see a lot more merit in waiting a week. If you do need a wing fullback and he's the cheaper price that you want to get, then I understand. A lot of people have been waiting for him to, and as soon as he's been named, they're going to pick him up. They've been saying this since round one. I understand that. He's coming off a significant injury that took way longer to heal from. He played 40 minutes on the weekend in Cup, and is he going to be able to play 80 at a good clip here for the Titans? Look, there's plenty of upside in him, but I do think waiting a week is fine as well. Both options should be fine for you. We do see David Fafita on the reserves. They're in 18. Tom Weaver's still in the reserve, so we didn't lose Tanner Boyd in this one. Hopefully a big bounce back from them. If anyone was to jump out of this side, it would be Cleese Haas. He might move to the bench or out of the side completely. They've named Joe Simpson on the interchange, so I'm not sure who that's going to be for. Maybe if Fafita comes in, he drops out. I'm not sure at this point. But trying to work out who's going to play big minutes in this pack is the hardest part. So I do think with Tino out for the year, you can at least wait one more week to see who is what the person that actually really benefits. Is it Jamin Jolliffe? Is it Fodawaker? Does Palacia step up? Is it Aaron Clark off the bench? They just seem to stick with Aaron Clark off for lower minutes at the moment. So yeah, he's probably not a big option. When you're looking at the Dolphins, there are a few that stick out at the moment, and Hammer's one of those guys. If you're looking at a center wing fullback dual guy, he's got a nice run now that his bye is over. You do see Cody Nikarima and Isaiah Katoa maintain their positions in the 6 and 7, with Sean O'Sullivan still missing the side in 19. So frustrating for any owners of him. What we do see though is UNA can be named in the edge position still. No signs of, well, Kenny Bromwich is in 18 at the moment still, and no signs of Connolly Lemuelu as well, which we'd expect at least another 2 weeks out of that for Aiken. So if you were to grab Aiken, it would be a risk at the moment. Tom Flegler, a really solid pickup as well in the mids if you're looking at him. Doing great work, averaging just over 50, I think, with the try in the first game. And then Max Plath, he's a very interesting one we'll go through in our buy, hold, sell, risk it videos. Just a bit at awkward price because he got priced up so high last week. So if you do need someone that you can rely on points, I think he can be a 40 to 50 guy pretty comfortably each and every week with the work ethic that he has, and they're really liking him up there in Redcliffe. He's doing a great job, and Ray Stone does come back, but it's in the 17 jersey, and if Plath can keep that with the lower minute forwards you've got here, and Kurt Donahue can come on as like their 14, their utility type of player, Plath can kind of get close to 50 minutes and be a decent option. So keep an eye on him. We'll speak about him a little bit further. With Jarrett Wallace is the one that's out this week. No reason for Wallace to be out, I don't think. So that's that on that one. Move to the Sunday 4 p.m. game. It's the Waz up against the Knights here, and we see Roger in the fullback position. So this will be likely for 1 week, guys. Either Tuapiki will return next week, or Chance will return next week. So they just don't have a secondary, another option, and Roger at 1 is great. So I'm excited to have him at fullback for my Supercoach teams. If you have him in fantasy, great. Do you buy him? I don't think so. Like, he looks really good, but still didn't score like incredibly well on the weekend, even with that try. So like, he needs to get those attacking stats on a weekly basis to do really well, in my opinion. I do still expect him to be a 45 average guy, and he's priced pretty close to that at the moment. So up to you, but dual position, won't play Origin. There's definitely worse guys you can pick if you're interested in him. Awesome. A few people asked me about Sean Johnson this week, and whilst he's not kicking goals, I just don't think he's a clear option. And maybe he drops a bit more price, and then you can maybe pick him up from there. But we're going to want like Cleary, we're going to want Hines, I think, over SJ at this point in the next few weeks anyway. So that's where I'm at with that. Wade Egan named again. We'll see if he actually plays this week. If not, Freddie Lussie will come in, and either Jazz or Tom Ali or Harris Tavita will come in for exactly what they did last week. So that's good news for the Wars if Egan actually comes in and plays. Toll Harris, an awesome pickup this week still. I think he's got a little bit of money to make, and he'll continue to score well in those 80-minute games, which you look at the bench that they've got again. Marata Niokore is back. I'm not sure how much that affects Tohu. Hopefully it's not much, but Bunty Afoa, Dylan Walker, and then Freddie Lussick. So 3 forwards on there, maybe Capewell or Ford play a few less minutes, and we'll see how we go. But Marata being back, I'm not sure if he's going to play any 13 or not for Tohu, but still a really good buy. Likely how it works with these with the Waz is that Tohu plays the 80, and then everyone just works around him, to be honest. For the Knights, the big news here is Kai Pispall in the 12, and you see Dylan Lucas in 18. So wild that that's the case at the moment with Brayley, Croker, Hetherington, and Brodie Jones in the 17. Any idea? I don't know about you guys, but in what world is Brodie Jones a better player than Dylan Lucas? Like, I like Brodie, but yeah, that's wild. So do expect Kai Pispall to play 80 again on that edge, and he now becomes a pretty solid option for you in that edge position, which is pretty weak at the moment. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't I don't think that's a bad idea at all if you're going for Kai. Obviously you could wait another week and check out how that plays out, but otherwise going for it would be fine as well. He'll get some attacking stats eventually. It just hasn't happened as yet, but that will happen soon. They stick with Gamble and Cogger just after their win on the weekend. Everything else stays the same in this side. So yeah, it's really just Dylan Lucas. Actually, Leo Thompson's out. What happened to Leo? Oh, he had a 1-game ban. Okay. So Brodie Jones comes on for Leo Thompson. That's it. Yeah, right. Yes, even with that, Dylan Lucas still can't get a gig. Strange. All right, Sharkies. Raiders. Look at it. Kale Hero is in. We see Talakai move to the edge. Jack Williams goes to the bench just to shore up their middles because they haven't got much. And Tapua is there. Tuku. He's on that interchange mention. He was great. But if you're looking at that, Billy Burns likely to, I don't know, play a little bit of edge, or maybe he has to play some middle. You've got Daniel Atkinson as their 14. So he just looks like he's going to be there for cover at this point. And just expect McInnes to go nuts in this game for minutes, to be honest with you. Hazleton to play decent minutes as well. Kafusi 40 plus. I think, these two will be close between that 40 and 50 mark. McInnes should go 60, you'd imagine. Jack Williams will go 40 odd, 45 to 50 pretty comfortably, I imagine. And then 20 odd for Burns. Tapua, probably 15 or 20. Atkinson, does he get on? I'm not sure. So that's that at the moment with the Sharkies. If you want to go for Nico Hines this week as captain, go for it, sure. But like straight swap Cleary to him. But obviously be aware that next week he's out with the bye, and this whole team is. So wouldn't be purchasing. We've seen Talakai in the do just as well in center as he does on an edge, so not a big deal on that front. For the Raiders there, if you are looking for a cheaper center or wing fullback, Seb Chris is clearly the way. This team looks pretty good, and he's going to get some attacking stats in this side, which we saw last week, the week that he played. He got 29 in 45 minutes and was doing really well. So anything in the 30s for him is great. He'll make money on that. 40, even better. Geordie Raps keeps his spot. He's an option, but I do see eventually, they haven't got Stewart in there at all yet, but eventually he's going to end up in this team. And it sounds like the talk with him is like 5, 6, 7 weeks for Raps at fullback, and they're going to develop Stewart and then eventually get him in. But it's all working at the moment. I doubt they make any changes because of that. Bashila coming in on the wing there really hurts the owners of Kotrick. And then you've got Seb Chris returning as well. Xavier Savage keeping his spot. Timoko a gun in the centres obviously as well. We're all going to be playing Ethan Strange likely this week. If you manage to end up with 18 players, maybe you can loop one of those guys beforehand and then see if you have to play Strange. But hopefully a bit of a bounce back for Ethan. He's up against a pretty tough side there. Nicker is still out, obviously, in this one. How long was he out for? It was a couple of weeks, was it? Must have been 2 weeks. Yeah, anyway. Finucane's out, obviously, as well, guys, and Toby Rudolph. But, he's going to be up against that. Is Talakai going to play on that side? Wow. That might be scary. We'll see how that plays out for Strange. Hopefully it's good. Jamal Fogarty, a great captaincy option as well this week. A really solid player at that. The bench stays the same, it looks like, with Salo there, Hosking. Yeah, likely that 60 minutes again off the bench. Still a good hold. Hopefully some good tackles, some play through the middle would be nice with this Sharks game. But we know they're likely to spread it to the edges, I reckon, in this game, considering the middles that they have. But they are a team that likes to play up the middle as well at times and then spread it, obviously, in the later parts of the set. So hopefully Smithy's a big game for him this week. He's a very important cog on my edge this week with Pikura being out. Oh, then we have a Monday game. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Easter Monday. Eels versus the Tigers. So, Blaze Talangi. Centre in the 6th position. How good. If you need a centre this week, I'm not sure if many do. I do think you can buy him this week. You can also hold and wait a week and see what happens with Blaze. Because 42 last week makes some cash, and he'll have a lowish break even in the single digits, and he'll be able to make some more money this week. So if you do need a cheapie, you can go this week. I think you can watch him in the 6 as well. And if he goes, gets 40 again, he'll be up near 300, and that's still fine to purchase next week. So up to you on that one. I do think that Will Penasini will be hurt a little bit by the Moses out, but we will have to see how that goes. So don't go buying him this week, but hold steady. Dylan Brown, obviously a good buy this week, but the BE is very high. So you're not going to, if he comes out and does well, awesome, you get a good score. So anyone that goes early on him, that helps. He's going to do a lot of the kicking in this game. And going forward, we know that we've seen times where he's done really well when he's the 7 in this side, gets the kick meters, runs a team, does plenty of work. But you can wait a week as well and see how things pan out. Because he hasn't scored great so far, but obviously when the team is his, it's up against the Tigers. We'll see how that one plays out in this week. So yeah, Dylan Brown, that's that. Joey Lustig, still going to play 80 again. Hopefully a better game through the middle for Joey in this one. Bryce Cartwright's been named. The news came out that he had a broken rib out for 4 to 6 weeks, and then now he's been named. So let's see how that one plays out. Obviously, the back end of the week, I think they're going to give him every chance to kind of come back and see if he's well enough to play. But just be aware that he might come out of this side, and they have enough guys to cover with Kelmer, with Madison. They can bring an Ogden, a Greg, any of those guys onto the interchange for him with Madison or Tuolangi starting in this one. So that's that. Hopgood, a good hold. I wouldn't be buying him at this point, but yeah, that's that with him. For the Tigers, you need to be getting Galvin on your side. Abby Coruscant, a really good hooking option as well. If you didn't go early on the hooker last week with cover for Grant, or if you don't have Levi, Appy's a really good purchase this week. Asukupawa ends up on the interchange with Twiley being out with a concussion. Hopefully he is okay. And Caesar running around the park and seems to be doing a solid enough job. I'd hold off now on Samuel Fainu. The minutes are a little bit lower and didn't score as great last week. So yeah, that was kind of the worry with him, was that if he had a bit of a lower one at that awkward price near 400k, that he that he wouldn't make a hell of a lot of money. So that's basically it, I'd say. We'll leave it at that, won't we? Yeah, that's it for the for all the games for round 4. It's going to be pretty crazy, but as I said, take it back to the little mini rant I had at the start. Just fix up your red dots this week is the big one. If a guy's coming back in a week, if they're coming back in 2 weeks, whatever it is, maybe try and hold them and get rid of the dead weight, the guys that aren't going to be playing going forward. Move them on, sort that stuff out, and then you'll be fine heading into round 4. Most teams are going to be anywhere between 15 to 18 players. And if you have a pretty solid sort of 15, you're going to be fine. 16, sorry, you're going to be fine. 15, you will lose ranks. 16 good ones, you'll be fine. 17 good players, you'll make a lot of ranks this week. So that's kind of the theory. It's only 1 week, guys. It's a 27-week season, as I said. Just don't put too much pressure on this week. Things will get better. We'll find out the news on Piakura after this probably, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next one.